Hi, it's Ileana here, and we have Dr. Amir with us. Hi, Amir.
Hello, Ileana. I hope you're really well. I want to extend my warmest greetings to our lovely audience. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're doing extremely well, that you're good, that you're happy and healthy. I hope you enjoy our conversation today.
We're going to discuss what channeling is, and then we're going to do an interesting channeling session with some of the aspects of galactic nature that I'm connected to that we discovered when Amir and I were working on healing sessions for my crystalline essence. And we found them to be interesting beings and very welcoming, so they're very positive. So Amir is going to be channeling aspects of me today, and we're going to ask 7 questions uh, that both Amir and I have come up with and see what those aspects answer. So Amir, what is channeling? How does that work? And what are we doing today?
Channeling is allowing the conscious mind to relax and for the other aspects of consciousness which we have to use the physical body to communicate. And so this may take a number of different forms. It could be through linguistics, through speaking, it could be through writing, it could be through movement or painting. Many forms you could probably call all types of light language an expression of channeling. And then the source of the information may be the self. In this case, we're going to be communicating and channeling information from your higher self, your more elevated aspects, all connected to you in harmony. And so it may be another being, like an ascended master, an angelic being, or for that matter, any other conscious being. So it's like fine tuning into the correct zone or domain of consciousness, like a radio when you tune into a correct channel again and are able to receive a program on a certain bandwidth. Similar logic and technical description would apply here. In this case, we are able and capable of tuning into any vibration, any consciousness domain. And the main thing is allowing the conscious mind to relax for those aspects of our sentience to utilize the physical body for communication. Of course, certain things are important in this discernment, knowing if the source of information is beneficial or harmful. This comes with practice. Of course, it is also important for the integrity of the message for the channeler to be clean, pure, and to not suffer from any significant trauma, especially to the heart center. Otherwise, the message will be distorted as it comes through the lens of the traumatized heart.
Yeah.
Certain practical considerations need to be made. It is becoming more frequent or probably more advertised and recognized. But all in all, this is one of the abilities that every single human being has. And with practice, they may connect to benevolent beings or higher aspects of their self and gain access to significant wisdom and solutions.
And we waited to do this session until I healed because I just had tooth surgery, double surgery, and my energy was a little bit in a different place that needed extensive healing, just physical healing and emotional healing to take place before doing this channeling. Even the one who's inquiring with the inquiries, they should also be at a good space emotionally and physically to participate in the channeling session with the one who's channeling and the beings that come in. because both people should have a good vibration to be able to connect on these levels. So that's why we took 2 weeks off for me to heal, to be in a better vibrational aspect to do this correctly.
Beautiful. So it seems that the conditions are favorable, although we all go through our daily challenges, but energetically, I think we're both in a good place.
Yes,
So,
yeah.
yeah,
I'm mentally and physically in a far better aspect to engage with you and the beings. Because energetically it's just too good to be in a space where you're calm and grounded and you're not filled with pain and angst and suffering through something of a trauma, like you said. I've been working on being balanced, to be present fully, and to be connected with you in this wonderful session.
absolutely. So going through the motions, burning sage or palo santo or incense or candles, the presence of fire as a transmuter of energy, it's common in many, many cultures. So I cleanse my space, I cleanse my vessel so that I may be a pure channel and so that I may bring in beneficial information that may serve the highest good of all. Okay.
Also setting up safety protocols that we're dimensionally time hopping and we're beyond linear space time. We're dimensionally in a bubble of protection where we're traveling and no one can access our sacred space. No remote viewers, no source creators. We are in a multi-dimensional channel time hopping bubble that is safe with multiple layers of energetic protection, and nobody can trace our session. Nobody can see what we're doing. We're energetically and physically protected, interdimensionally, multidimensionally, and physically. So our sacred space is set up and all of our protections are in place, and we are non-traceable, and we're beyond time and space, beyond linear totality. So our energy is protected in this sacred space, and this sacred session is set up with full protection, no interferences, nobody can get in or out. We are safe. It is just you and I and the aspects for this beautiful channeling session with positive vibration and energy. So the safety protocols and the protection has been set up. The space is cleansed and now open for this beautiful session going forward. So Amir, please welcome the aspects, and channeling can be done with eyes closed or open, and it takes about a minute to connect.
Okay, we're connected. There's a welcoming, jubilation, um, and the preparedness for communication and exchange of information.
Mhm. And who's being channeled today, if I may ask, please?
There is a collection of aspects, different components of the infinite soul, from which a shard is animating the body, this noble being called Ileana. And so there is a perfect harmony amongst these aspects as they are the constituents parts forming the infinite soul. And so each can be seen as a representative of the crystalline matrix forming the identity of the infinite soul, that aspect of that infinite soul that exists amongst the local cluster of universes beyond a single one, with access to those in alignment with a particular mission of safeguarding the integrity of reality and keeping that which is sacred alive in perpetuity, so that different events of extinction and sabotage in the stream, in the continuation of the flow of reality and the evolution of consciousness remains intact, that it does not become corrupt, and so that it may be available for all to see.
Beautiful. So we're going to ask the first question, how to speed up physical manifestation of the for the aspects.
Manifestation is movement of form, design, and structure from a higher dimension towards a lower. And so, therefore, many types of effect may impede and hasten the pace of manifestation. The slowest domain of manifestation is physical reality, 3 dimensions of time, and the ocean of location. Back and forth in time, left and right in parallel time streams, 3 domains of space, and then entering into other dimensions. Physicality remains the most dense and viscose of them all, and it is subject to laws such as cause and effect to a greater degree than is observable in higher vibrational realities. Therefore, physical manifestation is the slowest amongst all. Energetic change in higher dimensions and densities occurs almost instantaneously from the viewpoint of a being in physical reality. The integrity, completeness, and flawlessness of the mind form that is being set as the source of manifestation is important. In certain events, if the mind form or structure of that which is to be manifest is incomplete, this causes delays along the line, as certain details must be then filled in and completed before it can actually exist in one consolidated form. The next would be the energy of manifestation. In ideal situations where the being initiating the manifestation has perfect alignment in all domains where their consciousness exists, manifestation into physical reality becomes incredibly speedy and expedited. Where the being initiating the manifestation might have impurities and resistance within themselves, this is also reflected in the structure and process and unfolding of manifestation. This may also cause delays. And then also there are external influences upon the path of manifestation that prevent it from an instantaneous spark of unfoldment to a very, very tardy and impeded and hastened flow, drip by drip, trickling down due to lack of energy and parasitic influences. Such would be the nature of the resistance of the current shared reality amongst humanity, which prevents in totality certain feats of manifestation. As the vibration of the population of Earth rises, manifestations will gain momentum and become increasingly fast. So the initiation of manifestation also must occur from the correct domain. It is impossible to expect water to flow upward a slope. It is always in the direction of the force of so-called gravitation. So if one manifests from dimension 5 into dimension 3, this will be expedited. It will be further expedited if it is initiated at dimension 12, trickling down with greater acceleration into physical reality. This is also true if manifestation occurs from the divine primordial void, which is the most speedy form of manifestation possible. So a number of considerations must be made, and if conditions are not favorable in any of the mentioned properties and requirements of manifestation, this will hasten the entire process.
And how can we reverse damage to the physical body?
This is a relative proposition. The body is a brilliant masterpiece of evolution and engineering. And so built in within this mechanism, there are procedures to undo damage, to transmute toxins, and to restore to original blueprint. However, the vessel has a limited ability, meaning that this process is not infinite. The vessel is not meant to exist in perpetuity. Immortality in physical form is not part of the design, especially in the most recent iterations of human vessels. So within the structure itself, there are procedures to limit the longevity. And so natural aging and degradation will occur. There is no way around this. In the current versions of the human vessel, there are mechanisms of time incorporated that limit the natural lifespan of the mighty human. And also, if the amount of absorbed toxicity, whether it be in physical or energetic form, exceeds a certain threshold, the vessel becomes overwhelmed and the damage becomes irreversible. So towards the purging of toxicity, it is important that the amount of damage and toxicity is limited, and that the body and the energy structure is given sufficient time for recovery. Within the system, two mechanisms exist that are underutilized currently. One is a full system diagnostic, and the other is a full system restoration. Both of these mechanisms can be activated within a meditative state, where the occupant of the human body will experience an unfolding and examination of every single component of their being, energetic codes and physical codes similar to that. The process of total system restoration can be initiated through fasting. So in the intake of matter and energy into the body, we have impurities, and the process of fasting will cease the input of new material and energy into the vessel. After a certain time, the backlog is processed, and then the body can initiate its self-repair to a impressive level, eating injured and damaged cells and purging errors in the code, and going back to the energetic references of the body to repair everything from a molecular structure down to the DNA structure.
Mhm. What will the transition period of the next 100 years look like for humanity, especially on Earth?
The 100-year period is an interesting period of time, it is around the maximum duration of an average human lifespan. Many of us that are alive as we speak have suffered tremendous trauma and damage. And so, by the merit of the previous inquiry, certain levels of damage have occurred within the physical and energetic structure of the body, which are beyond repair and restoration. New vessels are required. Now, alongside the passage of time, the infrastructure and spiritual and energetic mechanisms of controlling, limiting, and dominating humanity are being eroded away through the efforts of many benevolent beings in human form, but also out of human form. The new humans entering in the form of newly born babies will have built-in immunity to many of the negative conditions that would have afflicted us, our parents and grandparents in these bodies. And so the next 100 years of humanity is the initiation of the transition period, moving conclusively away from the Dark Ages with significant evolution in spiritual awareness and in what can be manifest in human form. Eventually, after 150 years from this period of time, the golden age will come in earnest, as the old structure of control will be completely moved offline. Extinction periods or events that would happen cyclically will not be allowed this time round, as the evolution of humanity in terms of resilience to physical and energetic severity has reached an all-time high. The objectives of natural and technological evolution for humanity have been fulfilled, and so therefore the archetype of vessel, which is the mighty human, will be also used to seed life in locations where life cannot exist, but with the exception of the resilient and adaptable human beings. In terms of evolution of souls, many who have endured the conditions of opposition and severity in earth will graduate to the level of ascended master, teacher, healer, and spread amongst the cosmos to guide younger species through their journey of evolution. And so the result of millions of years of hardship and education will bear fruit finally. At this time, we are going through the darkest period in human existence. Never before have the conditions of chaos and evil been so rampant and so extreme. But this shall gradually but surely improve.
So certain types of things like polar shifts and earthquakes have been stopped for a reason, not to create that reset where humanity starts from scratch and a clean slate and forgets everything that's happened before, that's been prevented, so we can reach our highest singularity of evolution, both naturally and technologically. Is that correct?
That is correct. By the time of the beginning of the golden age, humanity will reach levels of advancement both in terms of technology and spiritual understanding of the laws of the cosmos beyond any prior civilization. So in a very short time, we will become truly galactic and intergalactic. Such is the destiny of humanity, which has been artificially prevented and blocked for the purpose of evolution. But this is not in vain. the resilience and adaptability and strength gained from this level of hardship on Earth will serve the human species well in their unimpeded and unrestricted natural evolution, where levels of adversity and challenge are returned to the baseline, as is the case with all other domains where consciousness exists. And so we have achieved a level capable of outlasting the death and the natural end of this universe, becoming truly multi-universal beings. There is sufficient time in terms of time for the illusion that it is for humanity to gain that unique position amongst those whom have already reached this level. And so this is a brilliant time to be alive, not just in the privilege of observing the control system and those who have plagued humanity being naturally removed due to their own actions, but also seeing the seeds of human potential truly sprout and grow. Many will choose to remain on Earth and take human vessels once again. Many will not. There are many amongst the living humans as we speak who have a yearning for home, as they did not originate on Earth as Earth-based souls. Many starseeds will wish to return to their own worlds, and so there will be a drastic and sharp drop in the total human population, and this is only natural, as the number of souls willing to come in and incarnate here is going to be significantly reduced.
Is this current soul that is speaking with you one of those star seeds that is supposed to remain on Earth, or are they supposed to leave?
The objectives chosen to be completed have been completed many, many times over. And so there is no reason for this noble being to remain here any longer. The preservation of humanity and the continuation of human evolution were amongst the primary motivations for this beloved being to exist here. Now that the danger is passing, it will be completely a matter of free will and choice whether to continue to have an aspect as a human being or not. There is a high possibility that this will be one of the choices, but this is completely out of free will and out of the love and the expectation to observe the fruition of all the labor put in for so many millions of years.
Will Amir be staying on Earth, or is there something special planned for him?
Um, the noble vessel through which we are communicating with you is amongst those who has a stake in the completion of the destiny of the mighty human, has had a presence from the very beginning and will have a presence long after humanity has evolved beyond physical form.
Mhm. What is the current state of the being involved in a negative way with Earth? How do we disentangle from them effectively?
All efforts for honorable and peaceful resolution have been exhausted as the time for the illusion that it is has elapsed. It is now turn for the liberation and remembering and awakening of humanity as a whole. So, with every final violation of universal law and violation of sovereignty inflicted upon each and every human being, a divine audit is initiated. And so the being that has caused and acted the violation will be purged of the imbalance. If there is anything remaining in that being that can continue to evolve, that will be the outcome. Certain beings have been distorted and damaged and shifted towards imbalance to such a degree that out of this divine purification through fire, nothing will remain. and this is absolute justice. These were the conditions for all souls entering, that beyond a certain level of degradation, nothing will be allowed to spread into other domains of the cosmos, so that without correction there will be no release. Those who have earned rites of passage, growth, and wisdom will absolutely benefit from this. And those who have come in and fallen beneath the level of their initial entry will not be rewarded in any way, shape, or form. Defeat and failure are not rewarded in the current structure, which is the divine holographic matrix forming the experiment that is guaranteed unnatural evolution. So the elements that are imbalanced, causing harm, and act in self-service with the cost of destruction and damage to other sentient beings will be rebalanced if what emerges out of the divine fire is inferior to what entered the experiment, so be it.
Mhm. Does human DNA and genomics physically change with rare mutations when somebody uses psychic abilities and activates psionic contact with extraterrestrial beings?
Yes, this is true. Within the physical layer of information, which is the human DNA, many dormant genes exist. These can be switched on and off under the correct environment. Exposure to certain types of energy from physical levels of energy, such as chemicals or radiation, all the way up to more elevated, high vibrational forms of energy, has the potential to activate or deactivate certain parts of the genome that already exist within every human being.
So the process is if you apply the work and do the work, your DNA can change along with that process.
The DNA will be as is, but dormant capabilities already existing within the design of the vessel of the mighty human has the potential to be activated or deactivated. So this is technically correct.
Mm. Who is the goddess Kali, and what is her role with Amir with repairing this known universe and the matrix as him as a creator working with her?
Within this universe, everything is based on certain fundamental laws. Uh, One of those is the law of polarity, where we have light and void, positive and negative, masculine and feminine. And so the goddess Kali is the feminine representation of the primordial divine void. Uh, this being is the description of a certain type of energy, the destruction of ego, identity, and illusion. And so it is the ultimate expression in feminine form of the restoration of balance and the removal of distortion. There is a masculine equivalent to the goddess Kali, which is the Vajrakila, the masculine aspect of the same type of energy, destroying ego, illusion, and distortion, and restoring balance. And so these are energies initiated in the primordial divine void. And so, as a source of manifestation, they have the potential to affect the most rapid form of manifestation, not only in physical reality, but in all domains beneath the divine primordial void, including sound, light, and all the dimensions.
So Amir is facilitating all of this in the conjunction of working with Kali.
It is a matter of source and destination. The source of the soul comes from the divine primordial void beyond this universe, at the very feet of the beloved source of all things. And then there is the matter of destination for the vessel to acquire sufficient clarity and purity to embody in honor and integrity this type of energy. Many have the same potential, are known as protectors of Dharma, and those taking action towards the restoration of balance. The energy of Kali and the energy of the Vajrakila are most required in this phase of transition out of the dark ages towards the golden age. For certain beings are too engaged and entangled in violation to willingly remove themselves, and so more drastic action is required. The initiation of the divine fire of transmutation and purification can be achieved through beings embodying this energy of the divine primordial void.
What is the goddess Kali's golden archive and the purpose of it?
All beings come from the beloved source of all sources, and beings of the divine primordial void are no exception. For the primordial void is the zone that provides the energy of manifestation and the collection of all possibilities in one place. And so beings of this domain also have identity that is less separate from the beloved source than beings of all other domains. And yet the records of their experiences, that which forms their identity, who they are and what they have gone through, the sum of all their wisdom is collected in these golden archives. The color gold indicates the divine presence in such beings. And so this would be the first breath of the beloved source in enacting the intention of all existence.
Why has this golden archive of Kali been revealed to both Ileana and Amir?
Both beings have roots in terms of the birthplace of the soul in the divine void. Other aspects, most elevated and beautiful and beneficial towards life and the evolution of consciousness, also exist. But this would be the initial birth of the soul. It is important to know where one emerges from, the birthplace, the purest form of identity, beyond distortion that occurs in domains where free will exists. For the domain of the divine void is beyond choice. It is all choice in one place. It is beyond strength. It is all energy of existence in one place. And so having access to this initial form of identity, who the soul really is, where one comes from, will give guidance towards actions in alignment with divine will, will give rise to solutions in alignment with divine will. And so the remembering of these initial forms of identity, of soul personality, would be conducive to the completion of the task for the soul shard existing in the noble human body.
How are Amir and Ileana supposed to work with the golden archive of Kali to repair the universe and help each other and humanity on their healing and ascension paths?
The nature of the existence of this type of soul does not change. It is always an instrument of restoration of balance. This is most important in terms of the destiny of mankind in these times. It is easy to observe the effects of imbalance, prejudice, and hastiness in current world affairs. And so anchoring this energy of balance and being a superconductor to divine flow for unimpeded, resistance-free evolution of consciousness and ascension of the soul is important. This is something that each individual human being will have to tap into. And so, therefore, the presence of such an energy in pure form of consciousness from the beloved divine, initiated in the primordial divine void, is monumentally important. Through presence in physical form, these energies are anchored into the earth and are available to every human being who seeks it. All that is needed is to call to the beloved source and ask to receive. And then through this anchored energy, they will absorb this information and this type of lights from the natural grid system of the planet. This was not possible up to fairly recently with the change of time into the 21st century. The result of repair to the natural grids of the earth has completed. And so now, once again, Earth is at a sufficient level of health and integrity to conduct such information anchored within her consciousness to every human being that walks the surface of the Earth.
What is Amir's relationship to Kali? Who is Goddess Kali to Amir, and who is he to Kali?
It is an eternal story of love, admiration, learning, and companionship. This relationship is eternal. And so there is mutual love, there is mutual support, there is mutual exchange of wisdom and information, and there is a absence of separation.
Are they twin flames to each other?
As all souls of the void come from a place where all possibilities exist simultaneously, they are all twin flame to one another. So all beings of the divine void are of the same essence, infinite possibility and infinite energy. So the short answer is yes.
Beautiful. Is there anything else that you would like to share with Ileana and Amir as a message?
The initial requirements for presence in physical form have been fulfilled many times over. It is beyond the description of success. And so great focus must be directed towards self-love and quality of existence, for in forms where you are overburdened by stress and external influence, your efficiency is reduced. Please consider that your primary task, beyond anything that your conscious mind can execute, is the anchoring of certain energetic codes into the planet for the benefit of every human being that calls to the divine for resolution and resolve. Your primary task, for as long as your noble vessels continue to exist, is being an unrestricted superconductor for this flavor and type of divine energy, pulling it through the energetic structure of your body and anchoring it through your root system into earth and through the natural grids and the nervous system of the planet. This energy will be made available to every human being seeking it. That is beyond important, and it exceeds in importance any task, mission, or activity that you may formulate using the physical part of your consciousness. Self-love is all love, and please love freely.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate you coming and participating in this beautiful session and answering our questions.
It is an absolute joy, and wishing victory, health, and continuous evolution for you and for all whom hear this message.
Beautiful. We thank you so much for your kindness and time in working with Amir and me today.
Thank you.
Blessings.
Wow.
Hmm.
Oh, that was good.
Yes, yes. I asked a few kind of a few questions in between, just for you and us, and just a little bit what went a little bit more, if that's
Excellent.
okay.
I've got little snippets of it. Uh, um, um, Visuals, um, the void and the circulation of consciousness, and then of course Kali coming in. Um, Lots of flashes of light, like a supernova, with the center being Earth. This explosion of light, very interesting. I've got to watch this again myself. Not all of it sticks in here.
Yeah, it was very special and beautiful. And I asked a few personal questions, and they said that everybody that comes from the primordial void, they're twin flames.
Wow, okay, that's interesting.
Hmm.
Hey, that sounds true. That sounds true. Um, I've had the honor of knowing many of such beings. There's unbelievable alignment. You just meet the person, and it's like you've never been separated. Very interesting. There's no human ego. It's just flawless.
Hmm. And what's your perception of these aspects that you channeled? What are they like, and what do they do?
So they're not yet the highest aspects. Seems there are levels to this. So coming from the infinite soul, these are again amongst the countless other, uh, let's say, sentient beings with bodies, and then seems like, imagine this human body has billions of cells. Each cell has its own sentient. So the human body, to them, would be a cell to the human body. So it seems that they are the source of many, many soul shards that animate many bodies in the physical reality. But yet they are also cells in a greater body. So there are levels of, let's say, their scale or octaves of existence to this. So they're the next one above.
Mhm. And they're very beautiful. And they said, concentrate on self-love and concentrate on anchoring the earth with energy. And this will be given to everybody. And we're part of that work that we do. They said, I've completed everything I've set out to complete here. And the choice is really up to me whether I stay in a physical body or I go back home as a star seed of where I came from. And you are infinite and eternal. You're a protector that's been here many times and will witness evolution many times over on Earth as
That
it
sounds good.
progresses. Yes.
Uh, as long as there's cheesecake, I'm staying here.
Well, there's exciting things. There's all kinds of forms of cheesecake,
Yeah.
more than just cake.
Yes, yes, yes. That was, and energetically, I feel refreshed. This is kind of unusual. A lot of these remote viewing activities are taxing on the body. I not only do not feel fatigued, I feel refreshed. It's unusual. So we tapped into something very beautiful here that also had a consideration for the body.
Yes, and also before, because these aspects were channeled before during the crystalline healing, when we were
Correct.
working on new forms of healing modalities. When they first came in, they did overwhelm you somewhat and they did
That
tire
is
you,
true.
but
Oh, yes, yes.
we figured out a flow with them that energetically connects you to their energy, where they charge you up energetically to give you more energy to sustain the channeling as a fair exchange. So
Beautiful.
And we kept
Yes.
it to like 10 questions so that they could easily interact with you and make it an energetic flow and keep the energy going and give you more energy to revitalize you and charge you for storage of that energy so you have more to work with.
It felt very smooth and fluid. Almost no um, blocks in the flow. Sometimes, like if you swallow something too big, you feel it going down and it's kind of uncomfortable. None of those. Almost, I think maybe a few tongue twisters here and there, but all in all, very refreshing. I'll have to look at it again. It seems as I was speaking, I was aware, but somehow the process of memory is offline. So I have to look at this again, see what was channeled.
And they bring divine purity, so their energy is very pure and clean, so there's no hiccups when
Yes,
they're being channeled as they
yes.
have that higher knowing for the connection to go well and smoothly.
This was one of the best channelings I've ever done.
Mhm. And we did talk about the questions a little bit, and I added a few things in, nothing that was unexpected, just a bit clarification on a few things.
Beautiful,
Um, so I think it went very well.
amazing. I like these guys.
Hmm.
They're it's a um, sublime energy. It's really lovely.
Hmm.
So uh, my understanding is they're already multi-universal beings, having access to much more than just one single little universe. So of course they have evolved and reached that state through merit. So of course certain impurities that one would see in physical reality are not present there. Very refreshing.
Hmm. Yeah, I felt they're wanting to connect and truly give good information in the process of how things are going on levels of, and I asked them questions about you and I asked them questions about me, and you can hear through the channeling that there is a differentiation because they're me, but yet they're independently standing on their own. So they can answer from that aspect of them about you and me, that they're beings onto themselves. That we're not just having a conversation with you and me, there's other presences here. And it comes through clearly through that channeling.
But magnificent, magnificent. So I suppose with a single cell organism has its own sentience and identity and its own processes. But then that is also true with the collection of all of these together as a human vessel. So
Mm-hmm.
just taking this up another scale, there would be another type of gestalt of all these, let's say, soul shards, creating a larger identity.
Mm-hmm.
Fascinating.
So we were having a conversation with multiple aspects of beings of me, asking questions about me and you that they can connect to and provide information energetically because they can tap into you and me to provide the answers from a positive perspective, which was the experience. And it's channeling and it's psionic and it's both.
Wow. Oh, well, uh, I just thought I'm going to run to the store and get a whole cheesecake. I'll leave it for tomorrow. I'll let that.
Well, it was a beautifully divine experience and such an incredible opportunity to see this and interact with beings of a galactic nature.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Even more evolved, I believe. These are multi-universal, so they're very high aspects. But yet again, in the grand scheme of things, I've come to the understanding there are many, many levels of such unfoldment. So infinite existence in a fractaline form, and these guys having access to many, many, many universes next to each other. So this local cluster of the infinite fractal. Wow.
I I agree. So thank you so much for this
Thank you,
wonderful
thank you, thank you.
session.
Uh, to be continued. Let's do more.
Yes. Yes, and you're multi-talented. You can do channeling, Akashic records readings, remote viewing, healing, your ability, and you're such an amazing teacher. So how can people
Thank you.
contact you?
Uh, the address is down here, wizardofwivenhoe.uk. I've got a tiny YouTube channel, Wizard of Wivenhoe. Hey, please subscribe. I'm growing. So thank you so much. And yes, if you want a personal session, hit me up on my website. We can work together. I would be delighted.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Amir, and
Thank you.
blessings.
Thank you so very much. Blessings to you. Thank you. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful evening.
You as well. Bye.
Thank you. Take care. Bye for now. Bye.